Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and today we're going to be talking a little bit differently. Now, today I'm going to try my best to collect my thoughts. Today we're going to be talking about a hero's potential and what the hero is capable of versus a player's skill and ability to perform on a hero. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's an argument that I absolutely hate. And I'm not trying to say that it is directly wrong. There is some truth to what these people are saying, but I kind of want to debunk and jump inside the heads of people that say, hey, X hero isn't OP, they're not broken, they're not overpowered, you just don't know how to kill them. And this most specifically referred to in terms of Mercy. Now let me explain my position, let me explain where I'm coming from, and then we can kind of dive into the non-correlation that I'd like to make. So when you have conversations, and obviously my opinion here on the channel that's been very open and clear is that the current version of Mercy that's on live, not the PTR nerfed version, we'll have to dive into that a little bit later, especially as we get more news on whether or not that's going to go live or not. The current version of Mercy to me is, objectively overpowered. She provides a ton of value for, a lot of ease, and the potential for that hero is massive. She just has so much potential to score easy value. Now, a lot of people will counter argue and say, well, the DPS players need to kill Mercy. You just have to target and kill Mercy. And I 100% agree with you. Mercy will almost always, regardless of her balance and her, specifics, will almost always be a target priority. And target priority and, people's ability to play DPS to kill that Mercy does not at all in any way, shape, or form change her potential. So specifically, I'm talking about the fly in and instant res. Let's think about it just like it is on live now. The fly in and instant res has very minimal, skill involved. There's very minimal risk involved. You do have a risk of flying in and dying, of course, but it's not really that risky because you don't slow down or anything like that like you might do on the PTR and in the future version of Mercy. And it's instant, it's quick, it's easy, and there's a ton of value for resurrecting someone. Understand that Resurrect is a massive value ability. There's not many abilities that can actually rival it in the game other than ultimates in terms of value. So, and we'll have to talk about value and how to kind of evaluate or quantify how valuable a skill is based on just like what else is in the game. But for now, we're looking about how much potential Mercy has. So the potential to fly in and instant res someone very quickly is massive potential. It's overpowered. I mean, that's just by all definition, in terms of my opinion at least, it is pretty overpowered. The current version of Mercy where she flies in instantly, gets the res, boom, it's done. That's pretty strong. So the value is massive, the potential is massive, and that has nothing to do with a player's skill. Because, and this is the best way I can explain it, a top 500 Mercy does the same action that a bronze Mercy does. They fly in, they press the res button. That's just how it is. That's how the hero is designed. There is no correlation between how good a player can be and how much a hero can literally accomplish. Now, whether or not the player is good enough to execute on that is totally different. And on the flip side of this, whether or not the enemy DPS are good enough to execute on their skill sets to kill Mercy is also not correlated with how strong she is. And this goes for any heroes. I'm using Mercy because this is the one that most often gets brought up in argument with me in various Facebook groups and, forum posts and things like that. But I wanted to explain, and I wanted to do it the best way I can to explain that the correlation between a hero and what they're capable of is very, very rarely correlated to the player's skill. There are a few scenarios where the player skill does affect the potential of a hero, but it goes higher than what the hero is capable of technically. I don't know, I do my best to explain this. This gets a little bit confusing even whenever I think about it. So in the case of like, say, Widowmaker, McCree, even sometimes Soldier, the hero's potential is almost very dependent on the player skill because of how mechanically intensive they are. So the better you are at that hero, at that specific set of mechanics, the more potential that you can bring. But that potential is still static. You know, the hero can only do what the hero can do. The better you are as a player will determine whether or not you reach that potential. But again, how good you are doesn't mean that that potential is lessened. And the same thing goes for Mercy. If you're in a phenomenal Mercy, you can still get that same value, you know, potentially, if you're not such a good Mercy. And so that's kind of my thought. I just wanted to explain the difference between skill and, you know, objective strength of a hero. It doesn't, I'm not really saying a whole lot. I'm just kind of explaining why I don't think that is a good argument when it comes to talking about whether or not we think a hero is overpowered, whether or not we think a hero is underpowered. There is a case to be made about target priority and having players understand why, you know, a hero may or may not be overpowered. For example, another kind of flip side argument would be people saying, wow, you know, I saw this on the forums the other day or on Reddit the other day. Someone was complaining, wow, Bastion is just so stupid. He doesn't die. We can't kill him. He just sits there and hides behind the shield. And anybody that's in the higher ranks will know that Bastion's really not that big of a problem. He's pretty great on, you know, really wide open points and maps like Junkertown. But all in all, he's not really a problem. He's not even really considered very strong. But it's because of the skill that the players don't quite see what the hero is capable of. And while Bastion is quite capable of a lot, he's just not really a problem because the skill of the, you know, the players that are trying to kill him is not really high enough to get the most potential out of their heroes in order to shut him down. So we're talking about, you know, skill correlated to potential, not only for X hero, but for Y hero who is on the enemy team. So it gets a little convoluted, it gets a little bit confusing, but I think the overall message is just that when it comes to saying whether or not you think a hero is strong or weak, it's not really a fair argument to, you know, tell other people that they just need to be killing that hero or they need to be countering that hero or dealing with that hero. That goes without saying. It's just about whether or not the hero is capable of too much. And that's really kind of what being overpowered means. It means that you're just doing more than one role. You're effectively taking in too much damage because the, you know, the old version of Bastion's passive was making him too tanky, and that's essentially what he was doing. He was doing a ton of damage because he's Bastion, but at the same time he was almost impossible to kill, so that made him tanky. He was doing too much, and you see that with different iterations of heroes as well. Like Roadhog was super tanky, but he was also one-shotting everybody, so he was basically a tank and a DPS in that kind of right where he had the burst damage to, you know, take targets down very quickly. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Hopefully this resonated with someone. Hopefully someone has, you know, learned something from this, or at least kind of understands my thought process when it comes to talking about, you know, a hero's literal potential and capabilities of a hero from the design perspective, regardless of who's playing it and what skill level they play at. So thanks for checking out this video. Please do not leave without leaving a like. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Am I just totally crazy, or did that kind of make sense at least? And I appreciate you checking out this video. Check out our Discord links. The 1,000 subscriber giveaway is still going on. Things are still popping. We appreciate all the support here on the channel. I'm definitely loving creating the content, so let me know if it's still fun. And I appreciate it again, and I'll see you on the next video.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earth?